Yeah, and then they talk about it. They're like, he's gone. Like I blah 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 blah.
And
blah.
then Will
He's
is
not
like,
dead.
no, he's here. I can feel him.
Yeah, he's
It's like, what the
tickling
fuck's
my
up with
prostate.
Will? What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know, dude.
What is
He's
up with
fucking
Will?
weird, man.
It's like, would you calm down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Like,
know.
we're just cleaning Hopper's cabin. Would you chill? This is Cory.
And this is Ethan.
Welcome to Dramatology.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, dude?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's your cockroach saga.
Oh my goodness, I know.
Is it just one?
Yeah, it was one cockroach.
One of the big nasty ones?
Yeah, it was on our counter. It was very large. He was very upset by this cockroach.
On the counter? Like alive?
Yeah, it was alive. It was cruising around, checking out the scenes, you know. But
As they do.
yeah, I threw it outside, and then today I went and spent like $130 at Home Depot to get all new seals for the doors and the garage and everything. So
Don't they come up the drain?
They can, yeah. But they can come in from outside. They can come up the drain. But then at like 11 last night, Katie boiled water and we poured that down the drains, try to murder them.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Doesn't the city I've heard that at certain times the city runs chemicals through the drain, through the sewer system, and that makes them all climb up the drain to flee death.
Really?
Yeah. Because
Dude,
they have to they treat the water, and then they all freak out, and then they're crawling up.
Run away.
They find ways to come up through the sewer. That's why you'll sometimes find them dead. You know, when you find them dead on your floor, it's because the city has basically killed them, and they crawled up, but then they died on your kitchen floor.
I was gonna say, dude, the city is committing genocide against cockroaches.
Oh, they have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting down there.
They are nasty little fuckers, dude.
Yeah, they're disgusting. One time I came home from the bar and went to brush my teeth, and there was a cockroach sitting on my toothbrush, like rubbing its hands together.
Oh my god, did you show him who the boss was and fucking eat him? Put him in your mouth and brush your teeth with it?
I grilled him.
Oh my god, dude, that's amazing.
Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah. Well, if you had eaten him,
and
that's
it made
disgusting.
me think like, oh hey, I wonder if like they're just hanging out on my toothbrush all the time. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question?
And
though?
I'm brushing my teeth with cockroach shit.
But would it matter? You've been doing it your whole life.
Well, we don't have that shit in Minnesota. So at the time, it was quite disturbing to me. It made me hate the state. It made me think like, God, this place is fucked. Stupid creatures.
Dude, they're just bugs, though, man. You don't feel like that when you see crickets, do you?
No, dude, they're different. They're different.
Oh man,
cockroaches are fucked. They're just so
That's
disgusting,
what Katie said to
dude.
me yesterday. I understand. Because I was like, it's just a bug. He's a bug. We got bugs. And she was like, shut your fucking mouth. It's a cockroach. I was like, all right, you're right.
I will say, you know, if you see one, that's a pretty standard issue down here in the Southwest.
That's what I said. That's what I said. It's just one. If we saw like a bunch of little ones spreading around, yeah.
Tell her about the drain shit.
Oh, about the city?
Yeah.
Babe. Cory says that the city will pour chemicals down the drain or into the drain system to like treat the water every so often, and then the cockroaches will run out of the drains to survive. She was not entertained by this.
That's why you'll sometimes see their little whiskers coming out of your shower drains, you know? They're just like, let me out.
Help.
Get me out of here. I'm dying.
Yeah, but you got to leave them in there. You got to step on those.
They're going to be here long after we are, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're powerful luminous beings.
Yeah. Dude, they just live through everything. I don't know if this is true, but they say cockroaches can live through an atomic bomb.
Is that like tested or what?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's the kind of thing where people just say it. And then they're like, yeah, it must be true.
Well, they're tough for sure.
Oh.
Come on, though. Like, if they can't handle the bottom of my shoe, you think they're going to handle an atomic bomb?
Yeah, I agree.
Come on, man.
Okay, so the first thing I'm reading on Google, which I'm going to choose to believe, says the magnitudes of effects of a nuke far greater than you might see in a carefully controlled experiment in the lab. So everything points to the conclusion, no, these little fuckers are not going to survive.
Yeah.
So,
one thing that you can do to make them angry in your drains is get some Drano and put it down your drains. One time I ran into one that went into the drain to flee me. And I put Drano, and I knew it was in there, so I put Drano into the drain, and it really didn't like that. And it came back out, and it was like, oh God! And it was like crawling all over, and then I smashed it.
Smash little fucker. It does seem like cockroaches are the few living creatures on the planet that everyone collectively can be extremely aggressive and murderous towards. And we all are like,
that's
yeah,
chill.
And hornets. Fuck hornets.
Mosquitoes too, right? Sort of like
mosquitoes suck.
Shoot to kill mentality with them.
Yeah, it's like, you got a family? That sucks. Dad's not coming home. Squish. You know?
They don't have families.
Dude, you don't know that.
Google that.
They could have an apartment down in the drains.
They don't know each other.
I don't know, man.
They just duplicate.
You don't even call it. They don't even bang. They don't do anything. You're just calling it duplicating, dude.
No, I give no respect to their lifestyle.
Dehumanizing these cockroaches is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I am. They're disgusting, dude.
Right. Yeah, no, they are gross as fuck. That is true. They're nasty. Nasty little slimy creatures.
Gross. I don't want them to like crawl on me while I'm sleeping. That's like a fear of mine.
Of bugs crawling on you while you're sleeping?
Yeah. We had a cricket infestation this year.
Oh, really?
That was not fun.
Oh, no. What'd you guys do? Just have to get someone to come treat it?
No, we fought it ourselves.
Oh.
Me, a shoe, and a dream.
How many crickets do you think you murdered?
Dude, there were so many. And you know what I figured out it was? It was because we hadn't done any yard work for like a really long time.
Yeah.
So the whole backyard was overgrown and a mess, you know? And then, and so they, critters love that. So they were out there. And then, so we were dealing with the crickets. There were so many. At one point I like walked into the bathroom and I saw like 6 or 7 on the floor, and I just had to like whack all of them,
You whack them all, dude.
And then when we got our landscaping done, they started to go away.
Yeah.
So it was
that's a good point.
Whole saga.
We've definitely let the weeds go before and had a hell of crickets, and I probably thought about it, but then I was just like, I don't know, bugs, spiders bother me. I don't like spiders, but I don't know, bugs don't really bother me, I guess. I just feel like we live in the desert and we act like these are our homes, but we're really just like right in the middle of the desert at all times.
Yeah, it's really their territory is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, like we're like, this is our home, no bugs here. And the bug's like, well, go fuck yourself.
This is my home.
And then
this is my drain.
They come hang out, and we're like, oh my God.
Counterpoint. The drain system is our area, not theirs.
That is true.
They took it over. And that
is true.
Is our territory. And so we reserve the right to flood it with nasty chemicals to make you die.
That seems like they that's an act of war on the bugs' part. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That they came into our territory that we claimed.
Exactly.
We colonized.
Exactly.
And they're now trying to take it back? Absolutely not.
It's not like they're hanging out in the desert like, oh yeah, I love it out here.
Love our drains, our own drains.
No, they're not like hanging out under saguaros, They're in our drains.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
They came into our territory.
Specifically for rats and cockroaches.
Do we have rats here?
Yeah, we have rats here. Well, pack rats more so, and they're the worst. I don't know if you guys have had to deal with pack rats problems, but they'll eat everything of yours.
We have a squirrel under our house right now, and it's a smart motherfucker. I think it's a squirrel.
Under? I didn't know you guys had a crawl space.
No, it dug under a concrete slab.
Oh no!
It's under there. I got a live trap.
Just go take a hose and put it in the hole.
That's what I'm gonna do. I was trying to be humane about it, but those days are over.
Just treat it like a cockroach.
That's what I'm gonna do. Well, squirrels are different though. They're a little more,
Yeah, but isn't that what every great dictator has done? You convince
You call me a dictator?
you convince your people that another group of people are equal to that of an insect or a bug.
True.
Well,
okay, let me tell you this story.
Just train your mind.
I thought I would be able to. It's possible there's a whole family in there,
yeah, but you can't think about that.
Yeah, I know. I kind of have been though. So I got the first step was to buy a live trap.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought this live trap, and but it's smart. It won't go in it. So I put a live trap outside the hole, and then little crackers or chips or whatever leading up to it and inside of it. Somebody told me to do that. And then today I went out and it had eaten all the chips all the way up until the pad that makes it shut. And then it stopped. So it didn't eat the ones that I needed it to eat.
Yes.
So it knows, So I think that now it's war. So now I have to I guess drown them. That sucks. I guess I have to do it though, right? I did think of the hose idea. It just seemed really.
Yeah, I mean it's rough, dude.
It seems really shitty.
I mean, you could call a fucking animal guy and have him come fix it,
Yeah, but I don't want to pay for that.
That's true.
When I'm perfectly capable of murder myself, right?
That is true. I was gonna ask though, what are you gonna do when you fucking live catch it? Go let
drive
it go 20
it somewhere
feet from your house, dude?
No, I'm gonna drive it to a public
man?
park. I'm gonna drive it across town.
You know what's gonna happen, dude? He's gonna fucking
homeward bound, find his way back.
He's just fucking running. And
he's gonna jump in a pickup and come back.
Yeah, he's gonna come in your fucking house and he's gonna set a live trap for you, and you're gonna walk in and be like, "Oh my god,
what are these chips?
What's this wine and this cheese? Holy shit!" And you're gonna, "Oh my god, I'm trapped." And he's gonna walk out, dude.
And then he's gonna drive
with your
me
wife
to a
in
public
hand.
park.
Yep. He's gonna say, "How does it feel, bitch?" Huh?
When I was a kid, we had squirrels in our attic, and they chawed through the ceiling. And and so one day I felt like drywall or whatever falling on my head, and I looked up and there was a squirrel's mouth in the ceiling coming down like, "I'm coming to get you."
What the fuck?
That was gross.
What do you guys do? I mean, how do they not freeze to death in the soda,
dude? It's all about decon.
What is that?
Poison.
Oh, you poison them. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that here. You can get poison for the squirrels, but again, you're now into murdering a creature that's fuzzy and bigger
but they
than a
made
cockroach.
a little burrow. They made a burrow that is perfect for the tactic that you mentioned. I tried to cover it. I just tried to cover it. Big mistake.
Why?
The other thing I could do is just cover it, not with just dirt, but a rock,
plywood,
with a rock, and just be like, "You're fucking stuck in there. Sorry."
Yeah, but don't you think they just fucking burrow around that rock?
Oh, true. Fuck, I'm stupid. God, I'm dumb. Yeah,
I mean,
and then I did cover it one day, and I walked out the next day. It was back to normal. They were just like, "Fuck you, I'm back in.
Hey, dude,
this is
come
my
on,
house."
I don't need a door. Yeah, you could go get some concrete, mix it, and pour it in the hole.
That's so fucked up. Crystallize them.
I mean,
you want me to Han Solo them?
No, I also think we should say that we are not advocating for killing this animal.
Well,
We're gonna
we
live
are, aren't we?
capture this animal.
We kind of are.
Yeah, I know.
You can kill pests. It's fine, right? That's not
I
animal
think
cruelty,
so.
is it?
That's a good question. I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, some people definitely would say yes.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm doing my best to catch it, but it seems like it's like really one step ahead of me. So I mean, your strategy seems to be the easiest. But
and it may not kill it. You could probably just put some water in there and get it to run out, and then I don't know,
and just
find a way to
ruin its
capture
life.
it.
What if it has babies in there though?
Well, that's something you have to
live
either
with
weigh
for
the
the rest
pros
of
and
my
cons
life.
on, or like most of society, just compartmentalize it and act like that's not real.
Yeah.
Cognitive dissonance. It's wonderful. No, well, there's no babies. There's just not. That'll work.
Yeah. So that's what I'm dealing with.
Hell yeah.
The saga. What do you think of Stranger Things?
It was great. I really liked the ending. I don't like the people that got hurt. I have seen some theories that Eddie is not dead, which is pretty cool.
Eddie's the like mustache kid.
The mustache kid.
Wait, who's Eddie?
No,
Oh,
Eddie is
he's the Van Halen
lead.
kid.
Yeah,
The curly-haired kid.
Yeah.
Why do people think that?
Just fucking fan theories. Like when the doctor that is nice to 11, the like older guy, not Papa.
Yeah.
He like calls that lady that works for them and is like, you need to go check on Max. There's like a theory that when Dustin leaves him there to like die, that he just passed out from blood loss, and that they took him to a hospital to save him. But shows do that, so I wouldn't be surprised. And they didn't. I don't. But they showed him die. That I think we've talked about that before. That a lot of TV
he definitely
shows don't
died.
But that's the thing, is he could have just passed out from blood loss.
Oh sure, and then the kid was just like, all right, I'm just gonna leave your body here. See ya.
Yeah, because he's not like checking his pulse.
He's just like, all right, you're dead. I'm out of here.
What, his legs broke? He's like, I gotta go, man. I got no teeth.
See ya. That scene where really he like has that conversation with his dad.
Oh,
that was such a weird scene. And then the dad's just like, what I didn't understand about that was he was like, he died in the earthquake, and he's like, oh, okay, that sucks. Yeah. I'm sad about that. And he's like, he fought like a hero. It's like, against an earthquake. What the fuck are you talking about? And then the dad doesn't even say anything. Like, what are you talking about? He's just like, okay, I accept everything you're saying. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, okay, cool. Let's just cry together.
Yes, but I think you and I talked about that much like the Goonies, when you have a bunch of kids as the main characters, you have to make the adults dumb as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Right, because if not, then it ends pretty quickly, and the adults, like as they normally would just be like, these fucking kids are pissing me off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd be like, what do you mean he fucking died in the earthquake? Where's his body? Where were you? We need to go
don't have
him.
that scene. Just don't have that scene.
Well, but how else do you wrap up that the murder suspect is missing? I mean, they could have written it differently completely, but
just like have him never be found.
Oh, like always missing, and then that story plot just kind of fades away, because it's true. I mean, he died
just
in
say
the Upside Down.
He died in the earthquake, and then he's like, oh, cool. Isn't it interesting that he's not like, okay, show me where his body is, motherfucker?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should. If I was like, I would have been like, where's my fucking son's body? What do you mean he just died and then you left and didn't get anyone?
Yeah.
You were just like, yep, that's it, man. He's gone. Leave him alone. Let him die heroically in this earthquake, to an earthquake.
He was fighting the earthquake like a hero.
He fucked it up, dude. No, it was good. I liked it. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. The one weird thing is like the Max dying was the fourth gate or whatever to open up the big Kaplooey.
Wait,
but she didn't die.
Max. Oh yeah, I got
the redhead.
Yeah, right.
So she her heart stops for a minute. It opens the gate, but then she casts a resurrect spell on her through her mind, and so she's not dead. So then
yeah, so how does that work?
It just kind of
it's because she died for a minute.
But if you're gonna kill a fucking character, kill
Just
a fucking
do it.
character.
Just do
Like,
it.
don't be so weird about it.
Because she's under
And if you,
contract.
that's probably true. But she's in a coma now, but of course, she'll come back, and maybe they'll make her like 11.
She'll gain power.
Something like that. Something weird. Maybe because Vecna was like inside of her, blah blah blah, like doing shit to her, and then pulled out halfway through. She'll like,
So she
I don't know, but she's blind and fucking all her bones are broken, and
yeah, she's not in a good spot for sure.
she's in a coma. And what'll be annoying is if in next season she just dies, which I don't think they will. But how funny would that be to like do this whole thing where they're like, she's not dead, she's in a coma, and then they're like, yeah, she fucking died. We pulled the plug.
Yeah, she like dies like in the off season.
Yeah. You come back and they're like, oh, she was fucking brain dead.
So did they say the next one is the very last one?
I think so, yeah. What'd you think of it? Do you like it?
I liked it. I mean, we watched it just like insane people, like we watched it the minute I think we just binged it in 2 weekends.
The whole show?
Well, we watched the first little segment, and then
okay, I see.
The second segment, we watched that like the minute it came out. Basically, Netflix broke.
What do you mean?
It broke Netflix. So many people were trying to watch it at one time.
Oh yeah, they had like 1 billion fucking hours of watching it in like a weekend.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was good.
The one thing that I didn't like was like the Russia stuff. I was confused about the Russia stuff for like a really long time. I was like, why is he in Russia? Why are we in Russia? Can we not be in Russia? But then
like, what's the point, you mean?
Yeah, like, well, like what's this what's the point of this whole Russia thing? But then it made more sense at the end, which I figured it would, and it ended up being kind of interesting and fun, and I don't know.
I mean,
that was good.
But what is the tie-in? Why does Russia matter?
That's what I don't get. Yeah, because I understand like what's the whole point of that part of it? I don't really get it. It's like he was there obviously because they took him, like they found him, but then he just happened to be there, and like what does the Russians having the Demogorgons or whatever. Did they have a gate there? They did at one point, but then they didn't. No, they never did.
That's what I don't think so. Or no, I don't know. That's what I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, or they like took the fucking monsters over there.
Right.
It just kind of felt like it's Cold War era America. And then so the Russians were also trying to do this, which like when they first introduced the Russians as like this stigma or this through line in America that we hate Russia, so we're always competing with them to be the top scary military power. So if the Russians are doing very scary bad things, then we have to, but we're doing it for good reasons, which is always how we operate. Like still. So I get, because of the timing of the show, Russia being brought in makes sense, but then to go over there and do that thing, I do find some like,
it was just very involved, it's like it's like a lot of investment just because he happens to be over there, and then ultimately like it really has nothing to do with the main story, which is what is going on in Hawkins, right?
Correct.
So and that's what's confusing about it to me. I didn't understand why so much investment was put on this like Hopper return journey. I didn't get that.
I definitely agree. Like I would have liked to see a Russia escape story. And maybe
or
like
just less of it, like just less of it, because there's like Yuri, there's that weird dude. There's like so much time spent like on that,
Yep.
Not that it wasn't cool. It was cool. It was good. But like, I think the show's better when it's just like kind of contained a little more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would have enjoyed seeing like Hopper come back earlier in the show to help out. more and be involved in what's going on. I do
Right.
like that it is written. Have you played D&D before?
No, I would though.
Okay, like RPG games, D&D games, like you and like a lot of the fantasy books I read, you will follow two groups of main characters that have been separated, and they are on their own story plots. So it's definitely like a D&D RPG written thing where you
Oh,
have
I
like
see.
the group at Hawkins, you have the group in California, you have the group in Russia, and we're following essentially their D&D storyline of how things operate. And that's one of the through lines of the show is it's kind of wrapped around a D&D universe of because that's how it starts, right? They're playing a D&D game. They talk about it all the time. In season 2 it's about D&D. In season 3 and 4 you have the Hellfire Club, it's D&D. So it's all kind of written with a D&D feel to it. So I get that they split the teams up or split the campaign groups, but I would have liked them to be closer, had more interactions with each other. But yeah, I agree that the Russia just kind of felt like it detracted from it. And I found myself when I'm watching the Russia scenes being like, I kind of want to skip to 11 and the group in group in Hawkins, like fighting the fucking fight. And he's just in here a prisoner. Like,
Right.
give me a 30-minute thing of him escaping. He gets back, blah, blah, blah. It's cool. And then let's move on. And because it's only two characters or
Right.
three. You've got Will's mom, Hopper, and then the crazy news guy or the crazy guy.
Right.
Bring them back in the fold and just have two campaign groups that are doing this and not fucking three with Yuri and the weird guy. I don't know.
Right.
I agree. It's
Yeah,
just kind
like
of
even
weird.
the California stuff is kind of like that too. I mean, except when they
Mm-hmm.
that's what was nice about the bathtub thing where suddenly like
Mm-hmm.
they're involved even though they're not involved. That was cool. I really
Yeah.
liked that because it was like an interesting thing. And then like that whole line is kind of more serving the past. It tells you like the narrative
Mm-hmm.
of what happened. So it serves a purpose, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can say the same for the other stuff, but yeah, the one scene that I thought was kind of funny and kind of weird, like when, because it's all kind of the show, the tone of the show is kind of like it's dark, but it's also kind of cheesy, like PG,
Mm-hmm.
like, and then that scene where the SWAT team just busts in and starts just blowing those people away like shit. Like, this is a hardcore action scene. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That
it's great.
was
That
interesting.
that shit is hilarious. And the guys get shot and they die and they're just shooting people and the kids are yelling. And
Yeah.
that shit that was very funny. It was a good scene though. It was I thought it was good. But an interesting thing, just because I like to go read the insights people have, because I like how the stories are written, and something I don't think most people think about is that Eddie Munson, the in this fourth season, a very important character, never meets 11 and some of the other cast. So
Yeah.
he goes to the Upside Down and dies saving them and giving her time to fight and doing all this. Never met 11, and I don't think met Will.
Right.
He never met any of them because he was just an offshoot character in Hawkins while they're all in California.
Right.
So he like does this whole cause and dies for it, never meeting the superhero,
Yeah.
which is
He's a cool
interesting.
character. My favorite scene, maybe my favorite sequence of the whole thing was when he is playing guitar on the trailer with the Metallica.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
quite cool.
Playing Master of Puppets, dude, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Just the way that was shot, it was like very cool.
Yeah, and Vecna mind controls people, so playing the Master of Puppets is such a cool
It's kind of perfect. Yeah.
choice of song to do for that. Yeah, you could choose a lot of like cool heavy metal 80s, but
Yeah. So
I wonder what they're
the
going to
next
do for
part?
season 5.
It's
What's
just going
the
to be
next
heavy
season?
warfare.
Well, that was also the other thing I didn't like. The whole portal thing they opened up, like him completing the thing. I do enjoy the main characters losing the battles just to, season 5 they'll probably win the war because that's I think just how I don't know of any movies or TV shows where the good guys don't win eventually. Because they have 4 seasons of the good guys losing, right?
Right.
They lose, they lose, they lose. They win a battle, and then Vecna in season 4 is like, I've been doing this since day one. You guys have just been pawns in my game, and 11 created him, and he wanted that because at the end he says, "You created me. This is what I've been working towards. Like you did this." And they have a flashback where you realize that he knew that she would do that and whatever, blah blah blah. And he keeps winning. So of course, if it's last season, they'll win. But what I was gonna say is I didn't really like that they opened up this huge portal that's like the entirety of this city, and then every fucking one's like, Mom, it was just an earthquake.
That's honestly, that was the most annoying part of the whole season to me, is the last 30 minutes I thought was just like, dude, how are you guys just like doing aid for this earthquake when you know it's not over? It's like, what are you guys doing? Like maybe they thought that the portal wasn't open. But the whole earthquake happens. Yeah, it's like what the fuck? Like, why is this suddenly like? Why are we in the post-action like little montage where everything's over and we're like wrapping things up and having our little moments with Eddie's dad and stuff when like you guys know that this has really just begun and you guys didn't win. I didn't get that. I was like, why are we spending 30 minutes on this? Like, how are you guys so chill right now? Makes no sense at all.
That did feel like I don't know, poor writing. Like you're very I really, the way you put that I think makes the most sense, that it was like post battle scene triage, like they
do that every
repair
season
mode. Oh yeah.
And then the action's over. Now we're going to California and we're going to have this like little like summer moment where I say goodbye to you. And it's like, we're all kind of in post action mode. It's like something that the show does, like, and it just didn't make any sense given what happened to have that happen again, because there is no post action. It's still going. It's obviously not over.
Yeah, and this one's way worse. Like
worse.
The earthquake happens. There's these giant red glowing portal lines going hundreds of miles. There's smoke everywhere. The city's torn in half. They have a scene where they're driving through town, and you look at the church, and it's got all the black like veins on it, and it's it's like broken down, and they see it, and they're like, "Fucking earthquakes, man!" And then they like go to Hopper's cabin and clean it up, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're sweeping and cleaning. It's so much fun."
Yeah,
and
they're like cleaning. Why are they cleaning? That makes no sense.
And they're like, "You gotta live here, 11. Sorry, kid." And she's like, "Yep, I gotta live here." And then they walk outside, and the black ash is coming down, and then Will's like, "He's here." It's like, you didn't realize the 400-mile crack in the ground that's a portal,
like on
and
fire.
now you're like, oh shit.
Not to mention the town
guys.
people, in the news. Yeah, they're just like, this is a normal earthquake, I guess.
And immediately they knew Vecna wasn't dead. Like, it's not like they won. It's not even like it was written that they could have won, and the bad guy pulled a slipperoo on them. They know they lost. They light him on fire, shoot him in the chest, he falls out, they go outside, he's gone. It's like the most clearly written, he's not dead.
Right, there's no like, oh, maybe we won.
Yeah, and then they talk about it. They're like, he's gone. Like, I blah, 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 blah,
and then Will is like,
dead.
No, he's here. I can feel him.
Yeah, he's
like, what the fuck's up with prostate. Will? What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know, dude.
What is up with Will?
Weird, man.
It's like, would you calm down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We're just cleaning Hopper's cabin. Would you chill?
Chill with your premonitions, dude. We don't want to fucking hear it right now.
I think that Hopper, cabin scene is just there so that Hopper can show up at the cabin and be in the cabin with 11 and be like, I'm here again.
I'm your dad. Yeah.
Daddy's home.
Yeah. It's so fucking weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but in general, it was very good. I don't mean to like talk shit or whatever, but
I do. I loved the show. I thought it was great. There is throughout the show just some weirdly written shit. Okay, here, and I'm gonna tie. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Some of it.
Okay, I have this issue with Stranger Things and Game of Thrones. Okay, it's the same issue. I think we I've said this before, but I've played World of Warcraft essentially my whole life. I love fantasy. I've read hundreds of fantasy books. I like D&D. I like all of it. And Game of Thrones, I like sci-fi stuff, like this kind of stuff. I like all of it. And then everyone made fun of it, and now it's like cool.
Everybody made fun of Game of Thrones.
No. Lord of the Rings, like you're a nerd, and
yeah, everybody used to look at this stuff and say that you're a bunch of nerds, whatever.
Yeah, turn their nose up at it, and it's dumb, and D&D is stupid, and blah 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 blah. And then so both of these are the same. Game of Thrones comes out, and everyone's like, "Wow, dragons are cool, fantasy is cool." And I think the books are written great, and it's not a bad story, and I haven't seen it, so I might change my opinion on it. But the problem I have is like, there's better fantasy. And people see Game of Thrones and they're like, wow, fantasy's sick. And it's like, I think there does come across as, I don't know if it comes, I'm not gatekeeping. I want people to be able to watch whatever they want, but it is frustrating that like, Stranger Things is good, but there's better sci-fi out there. So much better sci-fi. So much better written sci-fi.
Yeah,
there's
you're just watching the one that happens to be sponsored by Netflix because you're a young millennial who has Netflix.
Yeah, and everyone thinks it's cool now. And it's like, this is a show written about D&D, and like there's campaigns, and I enjoy that, but it's also not the best writing of a sci-fi or fantasy movie.
You can
point
to better stuff.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's, what we've talked about.
Did I tell you how much it costs to make it? Have I told you this?
Oh, probably a disgusting
$30 million per episode.
Yeah, they could have done better. They
could have done so much
better. Dude, a World War I mind-rotted crazy person wrote Lord of the Rings in the trenches of a war. Like, you could have done better writing than this.
Yeah, I think
J.R. Tolkien was
that's the thing that like
a soldier.
That's cool. He wrote that when he was at war.
At war and right after war.
Man, props to J.R. It's like it's hard to feel bad at a show that has such a big budget when like especially when there's and it seems like such a little thing, like, oh, this scene's kind of like weird, and it's like if you're spending that much money on your shit, you don't get to be weird. You don't get to have anything. You don't get to have any cracks, in my opinion. No cracks.
I fucking agree so much.
There's no excuse.
That's what I am concerned about. Like, Amazon bought the rights to make a Lord of the Rings series. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
And it's like the biggest budget of any show
ever
currently,
right.
I think.
I've heard of this, yeah.
I have very high expectations, and part of me doesn't even know if I want to watch it, because it's, unless they're writing the movies have been done, and I think the movies were done beautifully to the story. Like,
I heard that
The Hobbit and the trilogy. Those movies are fantastic. To go back and try to make this a show, the standard you have to live up to, like you're saying, you cannot, like, you have to be bulletproof.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think that.
I heard that Jeff Bezos is playing Legolas. Have you heard that?
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
And I heard that he bought the rights to the show just because he wanted to play that. Don't shoot the messenger,
dude.
He's gonna play Legolas. You're gonna love it.
I'm
kidding. I'm totally kidding. Did you believe me?
I would. No, I think I would get a T-shirt of him playing Legolas, though.
Yeah, Bezos is playing Legolas, and Zuckerberg.
Who's playing Aragorn?
Zuckerberg. And then Elon Musk is
playing Gimli.
Is Gimli? Yeah.
There we go. I like that. Who's Gandalf?
Gandalf?
Who's another
Warren Buffett?
Oh yes, Gandalf is Warren Buffett. That's amazing. Don't you think?
And Bill Gates is like some weird elf.
Sauron. No, Bill Gates is Sauron.
Who's that? Oh, he's the white one.
No, Sauron's the main bad guy.
He's like doesn't he like become like a white wizard or whatever?
No. That's
who's that guy?
Man, Saruman.
Oh, okay. Those names are very similar, by the way.
Yes.
Poor writing from J.R. Tolkien.
No.
Just kidding.
Well, Saruman is a falls to Sauron as he's a
Oh,
wizard
I
of the
see.
White Council, and he goes bad,
Because he
which is
doesn't
not
start
good.
that way, right?
No, he's a good guy and then turns evil.
And then they fight in that tower.
Yeah, and Gandalf is the gray for a very long time, and then turns Gandalf
And
the
he's
white
always on
when
time. He's like
he
a
fights the
wizard's never
Balrog.
early and never late. It's like
Yep,
nice
perfectly
excuse, nice excuse, bro.
No, that's not even the point of it, dude. A wizard doesn't arrive early or late. He arrives perfectly when he needs to. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's a perfect excuse. It's a perfect excuse to be
It's a
late.
perfect excuse to be on time.
It's like that's what I want to say every time I'm late for
Yeah.
for something. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? A wizard is never late.
Mm-hmm.
Is never
Never
early.
late and never early, though.
Yeah, convenient.
I arrive perfectly when I need
How
to.
convenient.
Don't you? I mean, it's an inconvenience sometimes if you're early, though, right? Too early.
We talked about this last time.
I know.
You know what?
I know, and you're
Gandalf's an excuse maker.
Dude,
And that's all there is to it. I'm sorry.
You can't.
You know what? I'm sorry. I know you love him, but
oh man, that's just so painful to me. No, but
I'm just saying this because I know you're into it.
I know. That's my problem with Stranger Things being so popular and so cool, and Game of Thrones is like the book nerds read Game of Thrones. I haven't read the books, but the books are a fantastic fantasy, and I just feel like it hit mainstream culture that being a fantasy nerd is cool. And there's part of me that feel like people are full of shit, like
They don't actually feel that way. They're just following a trend.
yeah, which is great, like and it's a good show. Stranger Things is fun to watch, it's entertaining, it's exciting, it's fun, but it's not the most well-written story of sci-fi or sci-fi horror stuff.
So what you're telling everybody to do is drop that shit and go watch
anything, just go watch stuff.
The
Go watch
Hobbit.
sci-fi and fantasy,
What's the best sci-fi thing you would recommend?
I love Star Trek. I think Star Trek's an amazingly written show. It's just fun, It's a show that
Can you watch that?
kept. Yeah. See, we did this last time too. Where to watch Star Trek?
That's basically what this podcast is. It's basically like a review of where you can watch things.
Dude, I'm in. Paramount. I think you can watch it on Paramount. But it's a show that was like it's not captivating you with violence and suspense all the time. It's like a show that you like the characters and it's fun to watch and there's some cool shit happening and yeah, I don't know. I just think sometimes it's like everyone loves sci-fi and maybe that's good. Maybe it'll bring about more sci-fi fantasy because for a while there's not a lot. There hasn't been a lot. And now it's in, so people want to watch more sci-fi.
No, it's like, oh, hey,
and
yeah, and it's like, oh, hey, convenient bully who bullied me in high school because I liked that. Now you think it's cool because Netflix made you a show about it.
Everyone
Fuck
likes
you.
the Marvel. Marvel is like saying the biggest movie name or producer, but it was a fucking comic book. And I don't even, if I'm not mistaken, I've talked to my dad about this. Avengers, the comic book, was not even that popular. And Iron Man kind of set everything off.
The Iron Man movie or the Iron Man comic book?
The Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
With Robert Downey Jr.
That kind of led to the Avengers movie, right?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always been popular. I think Spider-Man's always stayed in like cultural relevance. But yeah, the Avengers comics were not that popular, and then all of a sudden Iron Man kind of brings everything up, and then Disney catches on. Is like, oh fuck, we can make a lot of money out of this. But it is kind of weird, like growing up being made fun of for being a nerd and liking comics and fantasy and sci-fi and shit, and then everyone's like, man, this shit's pretty cool. It's like, fuck you guys, dickheads.
Fuck off. You don't
I've been
get to
trying to tell
say
you this
that
forever, dude. I mean, D&D is a blast, dude. If you have a group of people
Do you play
that are
it?
like really into it, I have in the past. I haven't in a long time.
Should we
I
do
wish
it?
I could. I'm down. Katie's my brother-in-law. I think is the best way to just call him that now. He is the D&D master for his group, and they play every Sunday for like 8 hours. And we'll be at Katie's parents' house hanging out, and he's on his phone, and he like really enjoys it. Writes his own lore for his own universe, hand drew all the maps, makes up his own characters, languages, economic systems, stories, backgrounds. Like he's super involved.
Wow.
But I just think it's such a fun creative outlet, and when you play with people who are really into it, it's fun because you kind of like you role play. You know, like you make a character, and while you're playing, you act like that character is what is supposed to be happening. Like
What was your character?
that's what people do. Sturm Brightblade is from the Dragonlance series.
Stern, is that what you said?
Sturm, Sterm.
Where's he from?
Or URM. Dragonlance Chronicles. It's a book written by Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman. And I believe the third or fourth generation of Dungeons and Dragons is based off of this series, of the Dragonlance series. But there's like 80 or 100 books.
Can you make up your own character?
Mm-hmm. You can make up whatever you want. You can be anything. Katie played with us, and she made Princess Katie. That was her character. But it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want.
That's cool. I would be Princess Katie. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. Like royalty. That's nice.
Absolutely.
I would probably be like a 3/4 sized person who played a liar.
Sure.
And I'm like a court jester.
Like a bard.
For a court that's been murdered, and I'm wandering the lands.
Sure. But that's the thing is, and the first time you play with a new group is you don't really play much. You kind of, if you haven't played before, you make your characters, you know, and then with your dice, if you're making your own character, you roll all your stats and choose what you want and choose this, that, and the other, and it takes a long time, and then you play, and you know, you can go online and find pre-written like dungeon guides, like what to do.
Yeah.
It's playing an RPG game with your friends in person.
Or you have a person who writes all that stuff on you. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's fun. And like I said, it's fun with the right group. And I think even people who are not comfortable with it, if you're with people who aren't judgmental about it and don't think it's
lame,
I don't know, silly. Yeah, it's, you know, people fucking will talk in accents and talk like an orc and act like their character, and it's just like a fun way to fuck around and have a good time. And
yeah,
it's a blast, dude. Dungeons and Dragons is really fun to play. It's really
I would
fun
do
to
it
play.
if there's ever an opportunity.
Yeah,
keep me in mind.
I'll message
put me in, coach,
my brother-in-law, and see what he says. I've talked to him about it doing it before. I just so busy, it's hard, you know, because he does 8-hour sessions. Like he does long D&D games. Like he just made I think he did more like a new age, like steampunk sci-fi fantasy world. And that's the campaign he's building right now, but he's built a bunch of them. And he hand paints characters for his friends.
Holy hell.
Like he'll go online and like the one he showed me a picture of, his friend, or maybe it's him or his friend wanted to be like a Italian mobster. So he hand painted an Italian mobster that is like holding a sledgehammer if he's in combat, and if not, he's just like in like a
vest in like a suit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool character.
That's cool, dude.
Maybe I want to be that. Maybe I want to be an Italian shoemaker.
But like I said, it depending on the world, you can be whatever the fuck you want. You could be a hobbit or a gnome, depending on the world you're playing in, like a small person who is a thief, like a trickster.
Yeah, that's good. I want to be a trickster. I want to be like a little shithead. I was like stab you in the back, you know. I don't really fight you.
A great character from the Dragonlance series named Tasselhoff Burrfoot. Fictional character is a Kender, which is essentially like a small, pointy-eared, fast trickster. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's a rogue is his class, but he like steals things and is funny and never like in the books. He gets offended if you ever call him a thief or a trickster that he's stealing. He just borrows things from people, and he always has the intent of giving it back. So it's like a funny character that roams the world with people and just steals shit all the time.
That sounds great.
Yeah. It's fun. And like this, you can go find the D&D sheet for this character and just print it out It's pre-done, and
And
then
be
you
like,
just
this is
play
my
as
character. I'm
as
gonna be the little thief.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, dude. I think more people would enjoy it than they think they would. They think it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, everybody's so disconnected and nobody does anything in person anymore. So that's probably part of it,
I
right?
know.
Like nobody that seems like a nice part of it too.
I mean, look at us, dude. We're podcasting online.
Yeah, come
No,
on.
I mean we're in
Yeah.
person. Though. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
being a
you know,
dingus.
like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It's just
I
harder to
absolutely know
like
what you
get
mean.
people to show up at a spot, you know,
Yeah.
and get them to spend 8 hours. That's a lot of time. That sounds
Yeah.
fun
It
though.
is. It is. It's a blast, dude. And you fucking get food and drinks and beer
Right.
and
And you just
get
chill.
stoned and you just have a good time. But yeah, this Stern Brightblade is the character I always pick if I'm playing a fantasy one. He's a lawful good human fighter or a paladin,
So
depending
you're
on
like a
which.
stand-up person who likes to fight.
Hmm.
That's good.
Sometimes he is like neutral good because there's like evil, chaotic evil, neutral.
You can
Like
be
there's a whole
evil?
spectrum of yeah. You can roll a bad guy and be in your party and deceive your friends and oh yeah,
Wow.
dude. You can
Okay.
do whatever the fuck you want. That's what I'm saying. It is a real life role playing game.
Yeah.
So you can choose to be
A villain.
like an orc, whatever, and like all the time you're trying to assassinate your friend. Like you can do whatever the fuck you want. And the fun thing is like with Taylor, my brother-in-law, he as the dungeon master, you can fuck with people so much.
As the master.
Like, oh, dude, like you like let's say you're walking through a forest and you come across a group of bandits that have just raided like a caravan and they see you and like combat's about to begin and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go off the road into the bushes because I'm playing a rogue, so I want to stealth
I'm not
attack
going to fight them
and you
head on.
let's say that throughout the campaign you've always been a cunt and you keep being like, all right, I want to pickpocket Ethan, okay. So Taylor and you keep doing this, you keep pickpocketing me, and then Taylor in his head, as the dungeon master is like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with Cory. So he goes, all right, Cory, you go to walk off into the bushes and you trip over a branch. Roll for whatever. Roll for if you catch yourself and you roll, and let's say you roll bad and you fucking like trip or
Break my leg
he's
or
like,
something.
all right, yeah, you have been knocked out by the tree.
Damn.
And he's like, fucking dickhead, quit being annoying.
Oh, I see. He can keep me honest by
Yeah,
throwing
dude,
problems my way.
Yeah, and it's
And
fun.
he's like orchestrating and keeping the balance, basically.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
So
that's an important job.
It's very important, and but that's what I'm saying. It takes a very long time to play because you want to be consistent, you want to play it, and people have to be committed to continue playing it. Or like I've definitely been in D&D groups at like past jobs, like where I meet other nerds like myself, where you go and do like one chapter of one campaign and then no one ever goes and plays again.
Right.
Because it takes a long time, dude. It's fucking forever. I'm telling you. Sometimes it's forever.
Right.
Once you get into it and you have your characters and you know the story, like as soon as you get in, you can sit down and start playing. But yeah, man, it's fun. I like it.
Okay.
But still, okay, and I want to wrap up my anger towards people who play who like
these
fantasy
posers.
now. Exactly, because I am gatekeeping because I got bullied a lot for being a nerd. Is that if people who like Game of Thrones and like Stranger Things, probably a pretty decent crossover. If I was like, oh, this is what this is about. Like this is the culture of this kind of fantasy and sci-fi, and Game of Thrones is fucking Dungeons and Dragons. Like, do you think the writers of Game of Thrones or the Warcraft movie or like they're fucking nerds, dude.
Yeah.
They sit down and like paint figurines or like play role-playing games and like.
Well, yeah, there's not like TV shows of like that glorify bullying.
No.
Like the nerds end up being the people who like rule the world, right?
Yes, because I don't know, creative and non-judgmental and fun and willing to try new things and sit down and play D&D for 8 hours. I mean, I don't know, that's just really it. Is like people like the image of it, but the culture of being a nerd is like very inclusive and fun, and you know, uh, very liberal and loving and playful, and
Long live
so it's just
nerds.
fuck yeah, dude. So that's my biggest frustration, I think. And I really like your point that this show could have been written so much better for being $30 million an episode.
I mean, that's a lot of money. I think it's the most that they've ever spent. I also learned that I don't know if this is true anymore, but Squid Game is like their most watched show, or it was their most watched show, and that show spent like a 1/12 of the budget that Stranger Things has. So it's like, what does the money do? What does the money even do?
CGI and shit, dude. Post production.
Yeah,
editing.
I mean, I get it. It's like I see scenes in like that in Stranger Things. I'm like, oh my god, I bet this one frame is like worth so much money.
I mean, Vecna is not CGI. Well, he is in a lot of scenes, but have you seen how long it takes to put that character into
costume?
They put a whole costume on him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then post production, the rest of the moving parts and shit. But
that's probably good.
Why don't we let's write something. Let's write
man, you want to write
a pitch, dude? Let's write a pitch and then send it off to Netflix.
That's trying to bring me out of writer retirement.
I think every time we talk about stories, or shows or stories, I very much appreciate your perspective as a writer.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you fucking have a master's in it. Well, why do you play it down so much?
Well, because
You're like, who am I to know anything? I have no experience.
I mean,
writing.
Here's the deal, though. Like it's easy to just like see a little flaw and be like, oh, that's a flaw. It's another thing to actually do it, So it's kind of
yeah.
And also, I was not a fiction writer, so writing fiction is a whole deal,
Is it though?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
You make it up. Writing nonfiction, you have to be very careful what you say. And writing fiction, you just have to make sure there's continuity.
So maybe nonfiction has trained me to be a fiction writer. I mean, it's not that I've never written fiction. It's just that it wasn't my focus. So when you say something like, write a TV show, like that would be new territory for me. You know what I mean? I did write plays though. So
Yeah. And my brother has his bachelor's in creative writing too, and was a journalist.
What would your show be? What would you want the show to be?
I don't know. I mean, of course it'd be something in fantasy. It's just what I love so much. Fantasy or sci-fi, and I always lean towards fantasy. It's called high fantasy. Lord of the Rings would be called high fantasy. So like dungeons, knights, elves, dragons, sorcerers, rogues, hobbits. That's all high fantasy.
Let's write the next high fantasy.
Holy shit, dude. I mean,
that'd be cool.
What I would like is a high fantasy. Well, I've seen these before, and I'm actually not a huge fan of them most of the time. But high fantasy in this, like in New World settings, but it's, I think, very difficult to do.
This has been done, you said?
There's been some TV shows that kind of have that crossover. You have like wizards that are alive in the 2000s, and it's always like an underground thing. I mean, Harry Potter is a pretty close crossover to New World high fantasy stuff.
That makes sense.
They have less like swords and fighters and stuff, so I think it's probably its own classification. And I think high fantasy actually is specific to a timeline, like what am I trying to say? Like the 1600s, 1500s, like Renaissance era.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fucking a blast to write a show, dude. Just sit
and write.
Oh god. Yeah, fantasy and create characters, and I think that's what it is to me, and that's why I always pick Sturm as my D&D character, because I read so many of the books and the battle scenes, like that the writers do. These two writers, they're fantastic and they're fun, but they just foil the characters out so much, and they make you love these fucking characters, and they just make the characters so dynamic. So I think I really like fantasy because they always have like a campaign of characters, like Lord of the Rings.
Many characters. That seems like a big challenge, like writing multiple, like a whole smorgasbord of characters. It seems like a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, on a like big production end, you'd have to have a team per person, per character,
Right.
and then you'd have to join them all and make sure that everything works. And
Continuity and shit.
yeah, fucking difficult as hell. But like, there's in the Dragonlance books, there's a set of brothers that are like opposed completely in who they are. One's a wizard and one's a barbarian. And just the way they write these two characters is just it's my favorite duo of characters I've ever read, watched, seen. But I think it's better than Lord of the Rings, better than most of the stuff I've watched. It's like my favorite.
So you're saying which I
I've
should
read.
start writing again, is what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, because if you don't love it, it goes back to the conversation we had a few months ago of like, if you don't love it,
I don't know if
do
I
it,
do anymore. I really haven't been doing it. I mean, I do it for my job a little, but
But do you think do you think you enjoy writing and not what you're writing?
Wait, you're saying that I actually enjoy writing, but I have nothing that I want to write about? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, who the fuck wants to write copy for
for like a business,
and be passionate about it?
Yeah. I see what you're saying, but there's nothing stopping me from like writing, whatever I want. I just don't take time to do it.
Time, dude.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
But that's the thing. I don't know. It's tough because
I used to force myself, no matter what, to write 500 words a day. I used to do that every day. It was like it was really good. It was like a thing I did, and I was working as a writer, and I would either try to take time during my workday to write 500 words, or when I got home, I made myself write 500 words.
Have you read The War of Art?
The War of Art?
By Stephen Pressfield.
No, what's that about?
You should. I would recommend this to you. I want to find the back of it to kind of. My computer's broken. Oh, it's better. Reviews. Let's see, overview. Right. Okay, The War of Art is a 2002 nonfiction written by American author Stephen Pressfield. The book highlights the forms of resistance faced by artists, entrepreneurs, athletes, and others who are trying to break through the creative barriers. The book is followed by Do Work in 2011. I have not read that. The point of the book is like what separates you from a professional, what is resistance, what is stopping you from doing these things. This quote is, "What keeps so many of us from doing what we long to do? Why is there a naysayer within? How can we avoid the roadblocks of any creative endeavor, be it starting up a dream business, venturing, writing a novel, painting a masterpiece?" I believe that Stephen Pressfield is an author.
Yeah.
But one of the things he talks about, and I believe his crown thing to do, his actionable thing, is he writes every day, no matter what. And there's no question of like, oh, well, I don't want to write on this because it's not great, or I don't think I'll do good. He just fucking writes and writes and writes and writes and writes and writes. And he says what separates successful authors and writers and athletes and everything, professionals, is, I think the point of the book is what separates you from an amateur and a professional is authors who write books that work have written a million books that haven't.
Yeah.
Or ideas, because everyone is like, well, I need to come up with a great idea, when it's actually the opposite.
You need to just do it.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. That was my philosophy.
But did you enjoy doing that?
At times, no. At times it sucked. It was painful. I would sit down and I would be like, I do not want to do this, but I'm fucking doing it. And I would do it every single day, and had like a really disciplined regiment about it. And, it was good. I did some very good things. I'm definitely a better writer because of it. Ultimately, like, I kind of don't do that anymore. Pivoted. Now I kind of do that with clay. I was doing that with clay. Like, it's kind of shifted. Like my focus is shifted, but yeah, like I that's the whole point, right? It's like, there are times when you don't want to do it and you do it anyway because you have to, you just do it.
You're committed,
right? You have to be committed, and you have to be committed even when you don't feel like it.
The thing I would like to drill down on, though, is we've talked about or I guess open up on, or I can't think of the way I want to say it, to I think drill down on. Anyway, is we've talked about doing things not it's because you like to do them, and about how other societies, don't view don't have the American work hustle mentality. And I do think there is a way to do what we're talking about and not have the American, because the way you just talked about it was very Western
It
American.
was not healthy, honestly. To be perfectly honest, it wasn't healthy. It was like, and I think I wasn't sleeping well. I was I was a joke of a person. I would read, write, work, sleep, drink.
Yep.
That was it. That was it.
But I think that the key there, and I do this when I'm not always great about this, as none of us are great at a lot of the things we do all the time. But when I'm playing a video game, if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, I will Alt F4 immediately. I like, in World of Warcraft, you get into raids with 25 other actual people, and it takes a while, or you get into a dungeon and they can take hours and people rely on you. And if I'm not having fun, I can't. I have to get off, because you sit there and it's not even so much about discipline as it is like, I think I can be a successful American in a kind of fucked capitalist world a different way. I don't think you have to always force yourself to do certain things. And I want to be clear about certain things, because discipline and having some structure, I think, is great if it's something you love. And then I think the discipline and the structure will come fairly naturally because you enjoy doing the process of doing something.
Right.
And I think that's what America loses. And we talked about this last time. This book I want you to read. I have to finish it and bring it to you. It's called Dark Horse. And it was a thing about all these people who are good at what they do. The through line these scientists found in talking to them is they love what they do. And that's it. And I am tired of living a life where my last job I really took because I was making pretty good money, and that was it. That was like, okay, well, they're paying me 25 an hour to do this, and that's more than I've ever made, and it was comfortable, and it felt great.
Right.
But dude, I never had migraines in my life and started getting optical migraines where I would go blind on my right side.
Holy shit.
I was pissed all the time, and I was stressed, and I was angry, and I was just fucking done. Dude, I would come home and fucking just bitch to Katie about everything. And then I found this job being a handyman, and it's hard, and I get hot, and it fucking sucks sometimes, but dude, I like it.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'll do it forever, but it right now is something I enjoy. And the gym, I'm working 3 12-hour days a week, and I get to the gym and I may be tired for a minute, but I'm like,
you're
fuck
into
yeah,
it.
dude. Like, this is, yeah, I'm fun. I sit at home or in bed watching, there's a few doctors, PhDs that I really like that are in like physiology, kinesiology, and sports science that have like 30-minute videos of like, okay, this is when you're watching this movement, this is what the hamstring is doing, this is what you're looking for, this is how it operates. It's, to most people, boring, but I have found enjoyment from it, so that's what I do. And I think my point is, one, your perspective on writing, and every time we've talked about shows, is always pretty sharp. This is a long-winded.
It's nice of you to say that.
This is such a long-winded, weird thing about us writing a fucking fantasy show, but your view and opinion on shows I always find refreshing and very on the nose.
I'll just watch you write it and then critique you along the way. That's what I'll do.
The editor, yeah. You'll be
I'll
the
just
editor.
be the editor.
But okay. This is where I was. You said, should I do it? And my answer is only if you want to and what you want to.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, because in the reality of the universe is you and I will only be on this earth for at most 100 years in a timeline that's billions of years. So I don't think there's any excuse to do things that don't bring you happiness and fun and enjoyment. And those things that don't, sometimes we have to suffer through them. That's not to say that we don't. But if I can choose to do things that I like,
yeah,
well, that's my fucking choice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
I think you
That's why we
sometimes
do
learn
this
to like
podcast.
things too,
Yes, that's a good point.
Like for example, when I started, and this is partially like how I developed my bad habits, but when I started writing and even when I started pottery, I wasn't good at it at all. I was really bad at it. Like I was not good. And I was never like, I went to school with some writers who were way more inherently talented than I was. And so it was like a requirement for me to have to work harder. And so like, for example, and that happened when I started pottery too, like I used to go to class and it took me forever to learn how to center the clay on the wheel. And that's something, it's hard, but if you're good, if you like, I've talked to people who it comes really naturally. People would come in and out of the class. Like I remember this one kid who came into the class and was just throwing giant bowls like really quickly. And it made me so angry. I was like, what the fuck you. But I've always been like, I don't know. Like when I started those things, I was not good at them at all. And so it sort of like necessitated like a lot of hard work or whatever. Which doesn't mean I didn't like it though. That's the thing. I enjoyed sucking at that stuff. That's the difference, right?
Yeah, it's more of there's a difference between being bad at something you like and being good at something you don't like.
Yeah.
And there's a range in between that, but we're all bad at everything we start. And interestingly, I don't know, I read a lot of weird shit about stuff like this book Dark Horse is essentially like a psychology book on that, or I don't think it's self-help, but stuff like that, in the realm of like how people achieve stuff. And I you see people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all those people that a lot of people would look at and say like, oh, they're the best of the best of the best, and that's it's genetic and blah blah blah. But in listening to a lot of interviews with professional athletes, professionals in general, it is a very common thing that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are very uncommon. Not only were they naturally good at what they did, but they have the work ethic of someone who's not.
Yeah, totally.
And like Kobe Bryant, in a lot of his interviews, people say who could have been or who's the best, and he'll say Shaquille O'Neal if he practiced like me.
I've seen that clip.
So a lot of college athletes who are naturally good don't make it because they don't have to work hard to keep up.
Yeah, right. And
so
that
don't
catches
have a
up
drive.
with them.
Yeah, but then you have someone, and I think the Kobe Bryants and Michael Jordans of the world, people look at and say that. But if you go watch or listen to interviews about any of them, those guys they're outworking everybody. But my point is I think what you have though is something that everyone strives for, and we all strive to keep, but is that the drive to be good at something. And I do think that is part of an American Western thing that is really good, is an a meritocratized mentality of like, to be good, you have to put in some effort.
Yeah.
And I think effort is good. And I think on like a physiological sense, neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to learn, gets really pushed throughout most of our lives if you're a competitive by nature person, because you're always trying to learn more, do more, be better. And I think it's probably good for you in the long run to be someone who at any age always wanting to learn. Because I think that I just talked to Katie about this, but I think this idea of when do you become an adult or when are you a child is this, I don't know, some stupid fucking idea. People, the like old dogs don't learn new tricks, I think is bullshit, especially when it comes to people. I think people don't want to continue learning as they get older, and they don't think they should have to. And I think it's embarrassing, but I don't know. I think it's always good to challenge yourself, try new things, push, do something different, learn, change.
Right.
I mean, when you're 60, why not change? I mean, what do you think your ideas when you're 60 are?
What are you going to be like
right?
when you're 60? Do you think?
I don't know. Hopefully the same.
I'll be alive.
Hopefully the same, and just have learned more. I mean, why do I I think I'll be different because I'll have learned more.
I'm gonna
I've
be a
learned
dope
different
cook. I'm gonna be
stuff.
really good at cooking when I'm 60. Be like
Hell
making
yeah.
gourmet cuisine shit.
Why not, dude? Do it now. Then you'll learn. And then by the time you're 60, you'll be. I mean, who knows? Maybe when you're 60, you'll have like 7
Yes,
restaurants. You'll be the
chef.
best cook. There you go. You know what though? You've got that fire deep down in your soul to be a chef.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because I see the rage come out sometimes.
Wait, when I'm cooking?
You have.
Oh, you
In
mean
general.
like in general?
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
have like a fucking.
I do have
Fury.
I keep it pretty chill on the outside, like a good Minnesotan, but I do get kind of angry.
Like a
Dude,
good Minnesotan.
I've been like the heat, dude. It wears me down so bad. I'm so crabby lately.
It's that fair skin, dude. Gets ya.
Dude. Grinds my gears.
How long you been here?
Gears. I don't even go here, man. I don't even go here. I don't go to the desert. I've been here for like a decade, man, and I'm still a fucking joke.
Oh my goodness.
I'm never. No, I will not. I will never acquiesce.
Why?
I hate the heat, man.
We're so opposite,
dude. Today I went out in the morning, and I woke up a little late, so it's kind of hot, and I take the dogs out in the morning now. So we're out there, and dude, nothing makes me more annoyed than standing in the blistering heat with 2 dogs that have fur coats on constantly, and they're just like fucking picking their little spot, you know. They're like, oh, let me sniff around and try to find a perfect spot, even though I'm like burning alive. And it's like, we do not have, it is too hot for this. You need to pick up the pace. You're fucking killing me. And then if you really want to compound that rage, it's like, have a dog sniffing around trying to find a spot to shit, and then a neighbor sees you from across the park, and then they start running towards you because they want to say hi, you know. Then it's like, dude, so if you were my neighbor, I think I've trained all the neighbors to leave me alone in the morning, but
hell yeah,
it's just a little window into my like irritable soul.
Okay, here's what I want to do with you. Okay,
put me in a fucking institution.
No. Here's what you and I are gonna do. Okay, we're gonna get you climate adapted. Here's what we're gonna do. As long as we're friends, okay, in the mid of July, early August, when it is the hottest.
So right now,
absolute hottest. Yep. You and I are gonna go to a sauna. Okay. We're gonna go to and so we can do this during July, but we can also do this.
Minnesotans love saunas.
Yeah, because it's fucking negative 100 there. So as it gets colder in the year, okay, but then starts to pick up into summer, because we don't have 2 seasons. We have winter or spring because you're Minnesotan, and we have summer.
Right.
We have kind of cold and deathly hot.
Right.
So during the end of those kind of cold months, you and I are gonna go to saunas.
Okay.
And we're going to climate adapt you before the heat comes.
Okay.
And then it won't make you as angry.
How often do we have to go?
Oh, every day. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I do think
dude,
that
saunas are sick. Like my uncle.
You like saunas, but you don't like outside?
My uncle used to have a sauna, dude. And he lived on a lake. Dude, this is such a, like, this is a very Minnesotan story. And you know how the steam saunas, have you ever been in one of those?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how it gets really hot, and then right before we're about to leave, he hits it with a little bit more steam. He's like, let's crank it up just a little bit more, and you're just like, whoa! And then you run in the lake or whatever. Lovely. Yeah. But you know what sucks about the desert? There is no lake, man. There is no lake to. The sauna is good because you have the lake. With no lake, there is no sauna. So there is no reprieve here. That's the problem. We live in a sauna. You understand? It sucks.
Yeah. Dude, I work outside like 3 to 5 days a week.
Oh, you know what? I sound like such a bitch because you have real work to do outside.
Friday, I did stucco patches on a 150-foot stucco wall in someone's backyard.
Oh my God.
All day, from 8 a.m. until 3 o'clock.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
No. I'm not saying that the heat doesn't suck, but I think as a Tucson local, I can tell you that if you continue that mindset, it just gets worse. You know,
I
like
need to invest in a really nice hat.
that is true.
That's
Or
part of what
let
makes me annoyed is the. I need to like get some nice flowing cotton garments.
Let me put you onto this. Hang on, I have something for you. Long sleeve UV fishing shirts for men. Okay, I'm gonna send you something right here. Katie bought me this for work. I'm sending you on Discord. It is the absolute best thing I have ever worn in my whole life. Okay? The best, bar none, in the sun. And you get a light color.
Interesting.
If anyone listening,
UV
it is a long
protection
sleeve
hoodie. Yeah.
UV protection hoodie for the summer and for sun.
Yeah, that's sick.
Keeps you cool, but the little hood just goes right over your head. You can cover your face with it.
That's sick.
It's so comfortable. And as soon as you get hot, you know what you do? If you're outside with your dogs, you take your hose and like this, with your hood on, you just spray your head real quick and a quick down on your chest. And then if you're watching, you take your shirt, you go like this.
Uh-huh.
Freezing cold.
Wow.
Freezing cold because you're like creating suction and pushing air in it. Dude, wonderful.
That's cool.
Wonderful.
That's the paradox. You need to cover up here.
Yes,
Oddly
because
enough.
in the East Coast and Georgia, that whole east side, because it's so humid, you have to be in no clothes. In here, you have to cover your skin because it's the feeling of the sun beating into your skin that is really painful.
It's so annoying, dude.
Yeah, and dude, as soon as you get sunburn, that's the thing is that there's like legit. I mean, you can overheat definitely anywhere that it's hot, but when it's this sun abusive, as soon as your skin starts to burn, which when it's midday, when it's like 115, I'm talking 10 minutes, dude, 10, 15 minutes, you're starting to burn. And then it's so much worse. Like and you'll, have you ever had heat rash or heat sickness?
No, because I literally will do anything to avoid being outside.
It can kill you. Like you can die very quickly from heat exposure or sun exposure. But dude, it's rough.
I believe it.
It's really painful. That's why I cover myself. I wear this every day. Even if I don't think I'm going outside, I put this on under my t-shirt.
This is good. I'm gonna add this to I'm gonna add this to my cart right now.
Yeah, dude, and they're not expensive at all. And but yeah, when you're fucking taking the dogs out, you got to do yard work. You can get.
I need to invest in some gear. That's part of my issue here.
That is true, and you know, I will say that most of my coworkers don't wear anything, including sunscreen.
Oh, really? Holy shit!
Yeah, but all the time we have people call out because they get heat sickness.
Oh shit!
And it lasts a day or two.
That makes sense.
It fucks you up, dude.
Yeah.
It's not fun. So yeah, invest, dude. You gotta invest in some UV protective shit.
I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? Can't remember. I don't know. Yeah. Well,
I love these. What do you think?
I think we did it.
End it here?
I think we made ourselves a podcast.